Good day, hi, I'm Ed again, and the date Jose just told me is 2021 January 20th, and it's a Wednesday. Today, by the way, is the inauguration of the new president of the United States, which is normally just an interesting news item passing by, but of course this year it's really something different, with the almost fear of like a civil war with the outgoing president being Donald Trump and all the things that went on around that. Anyway, this video is designed for the Atheist Experience video or YouTube channel called Atheist, a Bird with No Cage, and we will probably put it on both channels because Jose has started another channel, the second one called English from Canada with Eddie. And anyway, I'm just going to talk a little bit about my atheism, if you want, because I keep seeing more and more problems with discussions between people like myself, non-believers, atheists, and religious believers. And I'm especially thinking of Christians because I live in Mexico, I was born in Canada, and I know the United States fairly well, so that's the part of the world that is basically involved with Christianity. But much of what I say could of course apply to religions like Islam and maybe Scientology and whatever. Well, when I use the term Christianity, of course, we're talking about we're broad brushing, perhaps up to 1,000 or more individual belief systems, some of the main ones being Catholicism, and then from the time, at one time, Catholicism was all there was, say 400 or 500 years ago, and then the division into generally called Protestantism, Protestant religions, Calvinism, Baptists, Pentecostals, Presbyterian, and somewhat more recently, of course, we have Jehovah's Witness, and now Scientology. 100 or so years ago, we had the Mormon religion begin and all that. But as I've said from the last couple of years that I've been doing these videos, I have a two-pronged approach and two prongs that I'd like to discuss about religion generally, and specifically Christianity, and they're simply these. First of all, the question of, does a deity exist? Because I think it's probably fair to say that if you don't have a belief in deity or deities, you know, that without deities, the concept of religion doesn't seem to have a meaning. I've heard pushback from some religious folks that say atheism, the lack of a belief in any gods, atheism, they say, or try to claim, is a religion. Well, they can say that if they want, but for me that makes no sense. When I refer to myself as an atheist, first of all, I use the word because it really puts me out there, and it tells people a whole lot about how I think. If I say I'm a non-believer or a secularist or a humanist, that may be a little easier for some people to swallow or to tolerate, but I think it says less about me. And when we're in the discussion, it's very important that the person understands that I don't have any belief in any God. Now, the word atheism, as I use it, means only that, but I'm happy to tack on other things that especially that I don't believe. I don't believe in anything like any supernatural things such as ghosts. They don't exist. Spirits, fairies, any of those kinds of things. I also don't believe in belief systems that such as astrology. You know, I'm a Taurus and you're a Virgo, and that means something. And I don't believe in candle power or crystal power, any of those things. And as an aside, there's all kinds of things that I also don't believe in, like health cures that there's one, I think it still goes around in whatever, on the internet and social media, the idea of if you drink a little bit of, I think it's vinegar cider, some kind of cider, that it has all kinds of curing powers. That thing in particular, and other things, you know, like such as that, I don't believe, because I haven't seen any evidence. I remember once asking a guy that believes strongly in this cider thing. It was a cure for basically prevented cancer, prevented heart problems, according to him. And of course, I asked him where that information come from, and he immediately goes, "It's all over the internet." And I go, "Okay, but where did it come from?" I mean, obviously, things like that, somebody did some research. Like a university will do a thing like that. If they're testing something, they get maybe 1,000 people together and divide them into two groups, and 2 or 3 groups. They have to have a control group, etc. Some of the people will take the cure. Others people will take a placebo. They think they're getting the same thing, but they don't know. And a third group won't get anything, and then you compare the results. So that's just a quick outline of the kind of testing that you do to find out if something works. So in the case of my friend Bill, who was a guy actually my age and a little bit more, that, oh yeah, it's all over the internet, this works, I've been using it, and he was a really healthy guy, so, you know, he can argue, I take it, look at me, I'm healthy. Okay, cool. The point is, until there's a reason to believe it, I don't buy the fact that he says, I take it, and look, I'm healthy, I'm 85 years old, 84 years old, or whatever, and I'm healthy, therefore it works. I mean, that's like saying eating garlic keeps vampires away. I eat garlic, and do you see any vampires? No, well, obviously it works. So, I guess I'm trying to explain how skepticism, if you ask me who I am, and I had to put it into single words, a skeptic would be up high. I'm a humanist, that would be up high. I'm a rationalist, those kinds of things. So actually, the fact that I'm an atheist, although it's one of the things I like people to know up front, is really way down on the list. The fact that I don't believe in the existence of any God doesn't influence the way I live in any way, other than when I interact with religious folks. How's our time, Jose? Anyway, I was just talking to Jose. He's a camera guy. He's the guy that does all the work that you see on these videos. I mean, all the technical stuff, he makes it work. All I ever do is sit here and talk. Anyway, where was I? Talking about my beliefs. So, one of the things I recently had talked to a friend with, I speak Spanish, and I'm studying hard to improve my Spanish. I'm fairly fluent. I can talk to you about any subject. My comprehension is less than perfect. Anyway, talking to that person, one of the things that I like people to know about me is that first of all, I'll just say it, and then I'll flesh it out a little bit. I don't care if people like me as a person. Now, I know it sounds a bit weird. Some people, if you don't understand exactly what that means, it sounds like I'm saying, I don't want people to like me. That's not true. I like to have friends. But what is important for me is I want people to know who I am, what I believe, why I believe it, and as best I can, I like them to know how I think and all that. So it's one of the things that's high up on my priority. I refer to it as part of my honesty. I try desperately hard to be honest, sometimes to the point of being brutally honest, perhaps. But that's a very important thing to me. So in the conversations with religious folks, it's really difficult because when I speak against religion, and I think religious doctrines are very harmful in a lot of ways, politically and socially harmful. When I speak against doctrines and why I don't believe in God, and I also believe that the doctrines are dangerous, it's really delicate. I'm walking a really fine line because a lot of people feel that I'm insulting them if they happen to believe in these doctrines, and I think I understand that. do all kinds of dances to point out to them, no, I'm not attacking you. I only want to talk about the doctrine. It's difficult to do, and sometimes the people take insult even though I'm desperately trying to avoid insulting the person. Okay, that's just a little bit of a review of who I am, what's most important to me. Honesty is a way up there. The fact that I don't believe that any gods exist is kind of down the line. It doesn't really affect my daily life. Okay, so I think we're going to get my wife's voice on the video now too. She's talking on the phone. So anyway, let's just cut it off. That's all for today. Thank you. See you next time. My name is Ed, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.